Hey guys, DEFEKT here, and today I'd like to showcase my cast and crit Vortex and Ice Nova Assassin, which is currently level 91 in the Legacy Softcore League. Ever since they nerfed cast and crit, I wasn't eager to give it a proper try, but I decided to convert my previous assassin when I noticed how cheap the required gear actually is. So the build is using CoC Melis, which casts a socketed cold spell on melee critical strike, and this is basically the only required unique to make this build work. To make the build shine a little more, I'm using the Pyre Sapphire ring for the cold to fire conversion. The ring basically converts 40% of your cold damage to fire, which allows Vortex and Ice Nova to ignite on crit. And on top of that, I'm using a Dodra's Damning, which allows me to apply a total of 3 curses. A 6th link chest is not required, but it's great to have, as the 6th link will either be increased area of effect, which is awesome for map clear, or concentrated effect for single target and hard encounters. This brings us to the gem setup. For a 5 link, you will be running Cyclone, cast on critical strike support, increased critical damage support, Vortex, and lastly Ice Nova. As mentioned, the 6th link will either be increased area of effect or concentrated effect. In CoC Melis, I'm currently running Vortex with increased critical strike support and a level 3 Empower. The build runs a pretty convenient shield charge setup, with shield charge linked to cast on critical strike support, faster attacks, and lastly Vortex in a pair of gloves crafted with the Essence of Horror. Essence of Horror gives the socketed gems of the gloves plus 3.5% critical strike chance. This is great for map clear, but is definitely not needed for the build to work. Regarding auras, the build is running Elemental Weakness and Warlord's Mark using the Blasphemy support gem, as well as Herald of Ice for the lovely clear speed and the shattering effects it provides. On top of that, the build is using Orb of Storms, linked with Curse on Hit and Assassin's Mark. This is great for tough encounters or can be used as a tool to keep up your power charges in case the monster density isn't the best. Alright, so in regards to Flasks, neither Dying Sun nor Vinctars is required at all. Vinctars is great though, as it helps counter reflect mobs and hexproof monsters, as well as giving you a big damage increase for tougher encounters. For jewels, try to get some with critical strike multiplier, cold damage, area damage, spell damage, and maybe with energy shield in case you feel like you need it. Moving on to ascendancies. The ascendancy points are pretty generic in this build, starting out with unstable infusion for power charge generation, then moving to deadly infusion for an immense amount of critical strike chance and critical strike multiplier, then ambush for even more damage, and lastly assassinate for damage as well as culling strike on critical strike. Thank you so much for watching. I've posted a link in the description to my character page where you can find my gear as well as the passive tree for this build, and if you have any questions whatsoever, feel very free to write in the comments or contact me in game. Lastly, if you feel like sticking around for a few more minutes, feel very free to watch this following clip of the build in action.